I personally have a thing for twists. If a story is completely straightforward, I might end up feeling ripped off. An example here would be the movie Ex Machina, which I'll be semi-spoiling in 3, 2, 1. In this film, a man is brought to a remote location to take part in a test to see if he can tell the difference between a robot and a human. Now, the robot he's introduced to is obviously a robot, while the billionaire host works out, drinks, and is generally pushing his humanity to the limits. I spent the whole movie thinking that the twist was going to be that the billionaire was the robot, and that the real test was whether the billionaire character could trick the guy into thinking he was a human, but that wasn't the twist. There wasn't really a twist at all. I left the theater pretty bummed. However, I remember one movie specifically gutting me with its twist, and that would be 2003's Narc. It's a solid flick, albeit not perfect and somewhat cliché, but the twist is amazing and well worth dissecting. Be warned that I'm going to spoil the hell out of the film shortly. Hey, I'm Matchstick, and this is me talking about creative writing. I have 2 novels in the Kindle store, check out the links below. Now, Narc is a hard-boiled crime noir about cops in Detroit. I'm going to skip over the parts of the story that I don't think matter to the twist, so it should still be worth watching even if I'm spoiling it. I recommend you check it out either way. Narc begins with an officer named Tellis making a terrible mistake and hitting a civilian with a stray bullet, something he could have prevented from happening. So he's immediately a character with a past of seriously messing up, which is important later and is well conveyed by actor Jason Patric. After this opening, Tellis is charged with investigating the death of an officer named Calves, an investigation he's joined in by a third cop named Oak, played by Ray Liotta. Oak is violent and not exactly concerned with the letter of the law, and it is revealed that he has a personal, non-romantic connection to Calves' widow. The twist concerns how Calves died. Calves was a junkie, and Oak seems to be convinced that he was shot by a pair of drug dealers, one of whom is played by Busta Rhymes. Over the course of the film, Tellis begins to suspect that Oak personally knows that the drug dealers are innocent, and that they didn't shoot Calves. Tellis additionally pieces together that Oak was present when Calves was shot. By the end of the movie, Tellis is convinced that Oak himself killed Calves, and the viewer believes it too, or at least I did. But it's at the very end that the twist I'm talking about comes into play. Convinced that Oak killed Calves and is trying to get a confession out of the drug dealers just to cover up his own crime, Tellis ends up shooting Oak. Now at this point, Oak reveals that Calves shot himself, and that Oak was trying to cover that up so that Calves' wife could keep receiving Calves' pension. Now the brilliance of this reveal isn't just that an unexpected killer is revealed at the last minute, with Calves' death actually having been a suicide. That part is cool, but what really got me is that, much like when he shot the civilian in the opening, we realize that Tellis has again really screwed up. Given that Tellis is the character the audience is riding along with, and that we too become disgusted with and suspicious of Oak, we all made this mistake with Tellis. We saw the evidence through his eyes and made the same assumptions that he did, and that drives home the weight of his screw-up. A cop is dead, a case has been royally bungled, and Tellis is about to be on the hook for it all. It makes it worse that this was Tellis' chance to get back in the good graces of the Detroit Police Department after the stray bullet incident. The twist also somewhat redeems Oak's character, as we thought he was covering up a murder he committed, but is instead trying to ensure that Calves' wife continues to get his pension payouts. I mean, the guy was a dirty cop trying to frame a few drug dealers as cop killers, but still, our understanding of him changes on his deathbed. In a sense, this is a suspect reveal twist meets a bad guy turns out to be good switch up, meets us finding out we've been following an unreliable narrator. The whole thing is built up perfectly and it's really well done. The look Jason Patric has realizing his mistake as sirens close in, giving him barely any time to make up a story or even decide if he's going to make up a story, it's just a great image. Oops. To me, the best part of the twist is the unreliable narrator aspect, and the fact that it ties into what's going on at the core of the Tellis character. He trusts his gut, and his gut is wrong. I don't know why, but that part of the twist hits especially hard. We all like to think we make good assumptions and have good hunches, but sometimes we just don't. As far as how this can be applied to your own writing, I think that the last-minute unreliable narrator twist could be recreated, and having a character draw the wrong conclusions is something that wouldn't be too hard to pull off. But overall, this is just one of my favorite twists ever, and I wanted to talk about it. To be honest, it's a killer ending that Narc as a movie doesn't fully deserve. I like Narc, but if you watch it, don't get your hopes up for an Oscar contender. Anyway, like I said, I currently have 2 books in the Kindle store, and there are links to those in the descriptions, and you know where the buttons are. Peace out.